Darth Bane versus Darth Malgus. Who would win this 1v1? Matching up different characters from the Star Wars universe is always a fun idea. What I've seen many people comment on is Darth Bane versus Darth Malgus, so I wanted to make a video that goes through this with some actual statistics and facts. Some of you may have seen a poll I posted recently which asks this very question. These were the results of public opinion. But who would actually win this battle of the Sith Lords? Let's find out.
This is only the beginning.
I've spent hundreds of hours researching these two Sith Lords. How? Books. On record, I've listened to the Old Republic books for a total time of just over 4 months. The sound of death and carnage helps lull me to sleep at night. Along with thousands of hours playing Star Wars The Old Republic. Here is what I found out. I figured the easiest way to do this would be to break up the battle into individual segments that cover a different aspect of each challenger. If we continue this as some kind of series with other characters, then giving me feedback on what to include would be invaluable to me, so please leave a comment if this is something you're interested in. Let's begin simple. What high value kills does each challenger have under their belt? Darth Malgus has a very impressive kill list. At age 19, he killed the Jedi Master Khao Sen-Dorak, who was in fact a Jedi Battle Master. He also killed his Master Vindican, both of which we see in the trailer of course. Malgus also murdered Jedi Master Ven Zalor during the sacking of Coruscant, and another trailer. Another kill was Lord Adras, which happened right after Malgus killed his own lover, Alina. Malgus took his rage out on Adras. That happened in the book. And in another trailer, we see Malgus kill another Jedi Master, Dinolm Or. Damn, Malgus gets a lot of trailers. So yes, Malgus has an impressive kill list. However, most of his kills are off-screen and are rumour, such as many people believe Malgus personally killed more than 1,000 Jedi in his time during the Galactic War. This is why his name was feared so much by the Jedi. He was pretty much the Empire's personal Jedi Slayer. In fact, another Jedi he murders is Master Nosh Dural, who is a very famous Jedi. However, he had to play a character of Star Wars The Old Republic, helping him for this one. Okay, let's move on to Darth Bane's kill list. I just want to clarify that we're mostly aiming these lists at high value targets. Bane's first high value kill was probably Sirak. This was one of his rivals at the Sith Academy. Sirak and his friends had ambushed Bane in the library, however, it didn't end in their favour. The next kill would be the Blade Master Kasim. This rank is the Sith's equivalent to Jedi Battle Master. Kasim was a male Twi'lek who had mastered every form of lightsaber combat. He personally specialised in double and dual wielding blades. Bane killed the Blade Master within the Rakatan Temple, the same one we saw in Knights of the Old Republic. Bane also went on to murder the former overseer of the Sith Academy, a Sith Master named Cordis. He seized him in the air and crushed his airways using the might of the dark side. Cordis's body was tossed into a nearby bush and left there to rot. Bane's next impressive kill comes as a collective group. During Book 2, Zana tests her master's ability by setting up an ambush for him. Darth Bane was ambushed by an entire platoon of Umbaran assassins, and an old man who was barely trained in the ways of the dark side, an insignificant human male named Hetan. Bane kills everyone, and very nearly his apprentice too. Bane's next impressive kill was when the Jedi confronted him on Typhon. 5 Jedi total came to attack him and his apprentice. Bane killed 2 out of 5. Firstly, he killed the Jedi Master Farfalla by removing his head. Then he killed Jedi Master Waror, an Ithorian who was using battle meditation. Bane's apprentice, Zana, killed the other 3 Jedi. And just like Malgus, Bane also had many kills we did not see in the books, such as countless Republic troopers or others beneath him on his travels. So these are the lists side by side. Both are impressive. Malgus has 6 high value kills, while Bane stands with just 5. If we don't count the Vindican death, this makes them even. However, I think it's fair to leave it in. Okay, so this next segment will cover who each challenger has ever lost a fight to. Starting with Darth Malgus again, after doing as much research as I could, I can conclude that Malgus lost a fight exactly 4 times. The first was when he lost to Jedi Knight Satele Shan. Yes, she was just a Jedi Knight at this point, and not a Master. It's arguable the outcome might be different had Jace Malcolm not helped out, however the outcome is what it is. Malgus lost this one. His next defeat came by the hands of the player character, during the Ilum and False Emperor story arc in Star Wars The Old Republic. Everyone thought Malgus died here. Turns out he was not dead. Somehow. And defeat number 3 happened during the Meridian Complex story arc many years later, once again by the hands of the player character. Defeat number 4 happens not too long after defeat number 3, taking place during the Ruins of Null story arc, and once again by the hands of the player character. Now let's look at how many times Darth Bane took a loss. His first technical loss was in the dueling ring atop the Sith Academy's roof. However, I think it would be fair to not include Bane's losses during his training, as his training was flawed by masters who had abandoned the true ways of the Sith. Once Bane had this revelation, his power increased tenfold. If we include the training losses, then Bane's total number would be a minimum of 4. If we do not include them, the number drops to 2. So the first of 2 losses comes when the Huntress, an Iktochi female, subdues Darth Bane in his own mansion home. She manages to cut his flesh and poison him with senflax, which knocks him out cold. The second loss, as you can probably guess, comes when Zana defeats him in her challenge to be the new Dark Lord. So Malgus has 4 and Bane has 2 here. The next segment will cover great achievements by each challenger. Once again, starting with Malgus, I have concluded he held at least 7 great achievements. The first would be the fact he participated in a resurgent Sith Empire and retook Korriban after 1,000 years without it. The second is the sacking of Coruscant, an assault that probably would not have gone so smoothly had Malgus not been involved. I think having your comrades and peers believe you've slain 1,000 Jedi or more is an achievement in and of itself, so that will be the third. The fourth will be the fact he survived such a brutal beating on Alderaan. Had this been anyone else, they probably would have died. The fifth is the fact that the Force granted him a vision. While he walked across Korriban, visions are rare among Sith, so to see something so clearly is an actual achievement. And lastly, we know that Malgus as of right now is aged around 75. The fact he has survived multiple wars and still lives in his older age is a testament to his will to survive and his ability to overcome. He even still fights like a monster. Darth Malgus' most recent achievement was locating and retrieving the Darth Nul holocron. Even though he loses it immediately, I think it's fair that we give him this one. If you disagree, let me know why in the comments. Moving on to Darth Bane, I have researched that he holds at least 13 great achievements. The first is that compared to many other Sith Lords, Bane was trained from an old age. He began his training on Korriban around his early to mid-20s, and he subsequently mastered the dark side of the Force within the next few years, surpassing even the Blade Master Kasim. This would imply that Darth Bane was a born prodigy. Darth Bane's second great achievement is finding Darth Revan's holocron on Rakata Prime. He learned Revan's secrets and teachings that sourced from his dark side venture. It also helped Bane to understand his great revelation, which brings us to achievement number 3, the Rule of Two. Bane reached such enlightenment that the revelation of the Rule of Two was born. Once he accepted this truth that the so-called Sith that trained him must be purged, his power increased massively. Achievement number 4 was Bane's plan to destroy the Sith, by manipulating Lord Khan into using the Fort Bomb and committing suicide, destroying himself and all of his followers in the process. Darth Bane had purged the Sith Order of weaklings and imposters. Achievement number 5 was locating Freedon Nard's holocron within the tomb on Duxon, the same tomb we visit in Knights of the Old Republic 2. The sixth is using and controlling the Orbalisk Parasite armor. While the armor was a weakness for a time, considering his Orbalisk-fueled rage, by the end of Book 2 he had this under control. Using the armor is a great achievement. The 7th achievement is retrieving Belia Darzu's holocron, which was actually located within a fortress on Typhon. Bane had to fight off an armada of darkside traps and enemies, including a nanite infection that could have turned him into a slave husk. The 8th achievement would be locating and retrieving Darth Andedu's holocron. Bane fought off an entire cult of Andedu's followers to get to his prize, or at least some of them dared to challenge him. What's more impressive was that Bane had to travel through unstable hyperlane routes that may or may not have collapsed at any moment. Without his attunement to the Force, such a trip would not be possible, and the relic would remain hidden forever. Achievement number 9 goes hand in hand with 8 and 10. This one is for having the ability to defy Darth Andedu's holocron avatar. Bane used his power to force the holocron into surrendering information, a task that is not easy. It could leave one's mind left drifting into the void if they could not succeed. Not only did Bane succeed, but he walks away with his 10th achievement, learning the secret to essence transfer, a power that was lost with the ancient Sith. Darth Bane now had this knowledge, and the directions to use it were etched into his memory. Bane's 11th great achievement would be the fact he had perfected the Gem-Sir Saber Form. During the intro to Book 3, Darth Bane practiced his routines on his balcony. When it began to rain, he told himself to not allow a single drop of rain to touch his skin. Using just his saber and the Gem-Sir technique, he succeeded in staying dry during a heavy downpour. His swings and routines would have been a blur to any normal person watching. Achievement number 12 is Zana. That's right, Darth Bane successfully trained an heir to the dark side. Zana knew the importance of the Rule of Two, which is why she kept the legend going after she defeated her master and claimed the mantle of Dark Lord for herself. This was the way it must be. It was the way of the dark side. Achievement number 13 was Darth Bane creating his own holocron. Not many Sith Lords were able to construct one, as the knowledge of lattices and vertex had to be perfect. It was as intricate as building a small mechanical watch, except the pieces were invisible and could only be moved through the use of the Force and mental focus. So here, Darth Bane takes a strong lead with 13 versus Darth Malgus's 6 achievements. The next category to consider is Saber Forms. However, this will be pretty quick as both challengers use Gem-Sir. While we can confirm that Darth Bane mastered this form, given the fact these Sith Lords live thousands of years apart, it's more than likely their versions of this form would be different from one another. No matter how slight, this is something to consider still. It should be noted that Malgus has used 2 sabers during a fight before now, which implies he does know Sumataru and even Jarkai possibly. It's hard to score these 2 Sith Lords in this category, so I'm going to be purely logical. I think it's clear that Darth Malgus lived a longer life than Bane, meaning he had much more first-hand experience in combat. For this reason, along with the fact Malgus knew additional forms, I'm going to score Malgus a 2 in this category, while granting Bane a 1 for his own mastery of Gem-Sir. If you disagree with this score, let me know why in the comments. Let's move on to what is arguably the most important category, Force Powers. Now, when we talk about Force Powers, I'll only be including things we know for a fact the Sith Lords can do, meaning if we saw and or read them do it, then it's fair game. After extensive research on Malgus's abilities, I could only discover a minimum of 4. Those would be telekinesis, Force Choke, Force Lightning, and being able to sustain himself with the Force. All of these things we've either seen him do, or it's been in a book. We haven't really seen Malgus use his Force powers on a massive scale. However, this might be expected as he is a Sith warrior in mind and in heart. Darth Bane, however, has a few more tricks up his sleeve. That we know for certain, he has a minimum of 11 unique Force powers: telekinesis, foresight, Force Lightning, Force Choke, feed off of others' pain or even sustain himself on their pain, overpower a holocron, disintegrate weak enemies with just his aura, essence transfer, mind domination, He had the ability to use a powerful ritual. He could use the Force to intercept poisons and toxins, learned from Revan. We have seen Bane do all these things within the book trilogy, meaning this category leaves Bane with 10 points and Malgus with just 4. If we add up each Sith Lord's points, we end up with Malgus on 16 and Bane leading with 29. I'm going to minus points for each loss the challengers have taken, which is a -2 for Bane and a -4 for Malgus, leaving their final score on 12 and 27. So on paper, it would seem that Darth Bane is the most impressive and perhaps the most formidable, and this is without considering whether or not Darth Bane was the Safari of prophecy. In my own personal opinion, I feel like Darth Bane is the successful version of Darth Malgus. For me, Darth Bane wins this almost every time. I imagine Bane would have been a great teacher for Malgus. Malgus was limited by his error and the hierarchy he was employed with. He was not presented with the same opportunities or realities as Darth Bane, making each Sith Lord truly unique. Seeing both of these powerhouses go head to head would be a battle to behold. Who do you think would win this epic 1 versus 1? Do you agree with my own conclusion? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what you think about this subject. And if you would like to see more videos like this one, then be sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.